Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and another Friday of talking about random stuff and doing my eye makeup at the same time. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope you enjoyed the 20 facts about me, not 20 questions. I hope you guys are all doing well. How are you doing? Did you guys start a new project, a craft, something? Is it anything you want to share? Sell. Today, I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to talk about. I think I want to talk about my journey as a musician and flutist and how I got to where I am now. Oh, and a little bit of housekeeping. I will post, as usual, all the products that I use in the description box below. So if you have questions on what I'm using, just look there and you'll find them and the links to their specific websites. I had always been interested in arts and being creative. My mom was very good about helping me with that. She fostered that a lot in me, to express myself in that way. When I originally wanted to start, I knew I wanted to play an instrument. I just didn't know what it was, and I was a child, and so children are not educated and do not know what instruments are what. So I kind of relied on my mom to help me figure out what that was. Being the very interesting woman that she is, she kind of picked two instruments for me to play that she thought would be fun. The accordion, which was a hard no, or the violin. And I didn't know better, so I thought, okay, let's try the violin. I started playing violin in 4th grade. I can't remember a single bit of me going like, oh, I'm gonna play the violin. No. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So mom bought me a violin. Just, oh, that bow. I did not understand that. That was such a weird instrument to even try to understand. Tuning was like so complicated. To me, it seemed. It seemed so complicated. If the bow is so weird, like what in the world is this instrument about? That's all I could think about was like, so I played that for about 2 years in elementary school. I remember one time that kind of clinched the deal for me that I needed to end this instrument. And my career with this instrument was, one time I was practicing and the cat had a conniption fit and attacked my mom. And I don't mean just like scratched her, I mean hopped on my mom and had a fit and acted like I was killing this cat. Like the devil was after this cat. So the next year we could join band, and I wanted to play one of the wind instruments. I just knew that was where I needed to go. So I picked oboe. That lasted all of 2 weeks. So I moved on to the clarinet, the clarinet. That was about my 8th grade year. I bought myself I'm pretty sure my mom helped me a lot, but I thought I bought myself this instrument. I bought a little cheap $75, $50 flute from a pawn shop, and I started teaching myself that from one of the band books. When I got to high school, I said, I know I used to play clarinet, but can I play flute? And so I played the little bit of flute I knew for I think it was the section leaders at the time. I played flute for them and they were like, yeah, sure, fine. For 2 years in the band, in marching band, I still wasn't very good. I tried my best though, and flute fit better. It fit a lot better than the other instruments. Something about it just clicked. It was a lot easier for me to just understand. I understood a lot more stuff about it. Still was not that great until about, I think I was a junior. We used to have band camp the first 2 weeks. 2 weeks or so, I think, for a week or, I don't remember how long, maybe a month. See, my memory's slipping already. You get turned 30, I'm almost 36 now, I'm just losing my memory already. So that summer, Beth Jensen she was already coming in and working with us, but I knew Beth. Beth was a legend in Wenatchee about being a flute player. Her students were in band and they were like the best flute players. They were so good. That time she asked me if I wanted to start taking lessons. And I was like, girl, I poor. My mama can't afford that. She can barely afford us to be alive. But I can't do that. Like, band already takes enough money. I can't add that on. And she's like, well, I can get you a scholarship. And I said, if that's what it's gonna be, then cool, I can do that. And she goes, you're gonna have to work for it. I'm down for working for it. So I started taking lessons from Suzanne. She started teaching me. Suzanne was great, but Suzanne let me get away with murder. Like, if I didn't practice, it was okay. We just worked on stuff. I think I was maybe one of the first boys she'd ever taught or something, just didn't know how to work with me, but we didn't click. That's not saying that she's not a good teacher, and that's not saying that I was a horrible student. That's just saying that that happens, and like you're not gonna mesh with everybody. It's just like friends. Teachers and students are just like friends and loved ones. Like, you have to work together and mesh, or it just doesn't work. I knew that Beth was a hard teacher, but I was like, I am determined. So the next year was my senior year, and Beth was like, how's things going? I had a scholarship to be in youth orchestra at that time too. I was last year because I was still the worst. I was not the worst because I was bad. I was the worst because I did not know better, and I did not have any practice or knowledge. So that's why I was the worst. It wasn't because I was a bad player or that I wasn't talented. So the next year, Mary Jensen had just graduated from Oberlin and was moving back to Wenatchee. And Beth was like, why don't you work with my daughter? And I was like, ugh, scary. She's gonna be like Beth and kick my butt. And she did. My butt got handed to me on a weekly basis. Beth and Mary, because I would have, if Mary couldn't have a lesson with me that week, which was rare, then I would take lessons from Beth, which was super scary at first, but fantastic, because I knew the reason it was scary is because Beth is so passionate about flute and music. And I went to flute boot camp with Mary. Mary kicked my tushy. I got my ass handed to me, and if I didn't do everything, like if she knew I didn't live up to my potential for practicing that week, she would tell me. Yep. I mean, I had everything. I had to learn all of my scales over, like learn them, because at this point I had decided, and I think Mary and Beth helped me make this decision, because I was originally supposed to go to school for medicine. I had wanted to go to school to be a doctor. Oh my God, could you imagine that? Paging Dr. Mondo. I don't really know. Then I decided I wanted to go to school and try this. I at first wanted to kind of teach. That became quickly evident that I am not made for that. I have a slight gift to be able to teach people things, but I don't want to do it for a living, and it comes off. So I went to school and I auditioned, which was not the easiest of process because I still had this. I had a slightly better flute. It was an Artly. It was open hold, which means it was a little bit better, but it was not good. And Mary told me if I needed to go to school, I needed to get a better flute. So she was working at the music store in Wenatchee at the time and helped me pick out a better flute that was within our very minimal price range. And Mama helped me, bought me. She just outright. She bought me this Yamaha flute. And Mary drove me to my first audition for Central Washington University. Mary was just as much as a little kid as much as I was at the time, because we were both like poor as all get out. But she rented a car and took me to this audition. And that's when I met Dr. Ott. And Dr. Ott took a huge chance on me. I think he recognized something inside of me that wanted to work for this. But I had no knowledge and no background. I had nothing. I was not from a musical family. I had like raw talent, and that was about it. He never made me feel like I was worse than the others, even though I obviously was. I was so bad compared to them. That first year was so difficult. I cried so hard because I had never had any music, like formal music training. I did not understand how music worked. I did not understand system of music. I had no idea. Did not understand that at all. And then I had to go to techniques class. Every Monday afternoon, we had techniques class with the other flutists. And let's just say for that first year, I had a huge lesson in humility and learning to mess up in front of other people. I cried almost every Monday. There were some times I went up into Dr. Ott's office and cried and cried. I wanted to quit sometimes. I thought, this is horrible. How does anybody do this? But inside of me, I had this drive to win and to be better and to just keep going, trying so hard. Oh, I wanted this so bad. In audition placement, I was dead last. I was in the last band. I was in the lowest band, last chair. That first semester, that first quarter. But I tried, we had re-auditions every quarter, and I tried really hard. That first quarter, I worked my butt off. As any of my friends from that time, like Katie, my friend Katie, she watched me. I would literally leave our dorm building at about 6 in the morning, and I would not return until the music building closed at 11. During all this, like, trying so hard. I tried so hard. And then that next semester, I got a couple chairs higher. I jumped from last chair in the lowest band to being, I think I was principal second, quite dramatically that first semester, the first quarter. Well, every year in undergrad, we juried up. That's what we called it, juried up. So you had to have a proficiency to move on to the next level in lessons. You couldn't just move on. It just wasn't something you finished. It's not like other classes where like, oh, you finished and you got an A. You can go on to the next level. No, it was you literally got the A. You had to get the A, but you had to go in for juries. So juries were in front of the whole woodwind faculty, and you played with piano, and you basically had like this mini little recital with them. And I failed. And I cried, and I went and talked to Dr. Ott about it, and he was great. And he said, we'll get it next quarter. Next quarter, you'll get it. You'll get it. We'll get there. We'll get there. And that next fall, I did. I passed. I went on to the next level. At this time, I think I was assistant principal or in Winons in symphonic band. I was that for the next year. I didn't really move my spot much there. And then I jumped again. I worked hard. And I started working at the same time. So I was working for campus catering, which is so much fun. I had so much fun doing that job because it was basically working with all my friends. I worked with Katie. Katie was always so amazing. I kept working a lot. I was working during school. I got a job also during the week because I worked on the weekends for campus catering. So I would work for them on the weekends, and then I would work for the music office about 2 hours every day. I continued to work really hard on flute and practicing all the time. I slowly went from being principal in the symphonic band and doing piccolo every once in a while to then one day, which was a very big day for me. I still remember this a lot, like very vividly. We had auditions, and we had just gotten a new orchestra director, Dr. Kawili. He was going to be our new orchestra director. He was very young, very cool person. He still is. Gave off this tremendous amount of energy when you were on auditions with him, but you didn't feel so nervous. Like you didn't like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. No. We had auditions right before school, so we would come in that first, I think probably like 2 or 3 days before classes started, and we'd have our live audition. They were not fun. I hated it every single second of it. It was scary. I just didn't like it. We had auditions, and then after the audition, that afternoon, I can't remember if Dr. Ott called me or what, but he got a hold of me and said, I need to talk to you in my office. And I thought, oh shit, I did this bad. I probably like made last chair in symphonic band being I think I was in my 4th year. So I was gonna be a super senior. Dr. Ott called me back into his office. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is not gonna end well for me, or he's gonna give me this assignment that I'm not gonna wanna do or something like that. And he talked to me and he said, so, you're in orchestra this year. It was the first year I had ever been in orchestra. I meant one really amazing thing, I did not have to be in marching band that year. I don't really remember much else happened with that. I'm pretty sure he probably had to pick me up off the floor. But yeah, so I was in orchestra. I was second flute, and I was going to be playing second flute to Brooke on Symphonic Metamorphosis, which is such this like amazingly cool piece. It's really fun by Hindemith. If you haven't heard it, you need to listen to it. It's really fun. And I thought, that's so nerve-wracking, but worth it. Like, that's so fun because it's Brooke. Brooke's amazing. I'm gonna learn so much from her, and I did. The rest of my time in undergrad, I was in wind ensemble. I was only permanently in orchestra that 1 year. I don't really feel like going into why I think that happened, but it is what it is. I never made principal at that time in any of the top ensembles. I was always second or piccolo, which isn't anything bad. Like, I enjoy playing second and piccolo now, but you know, there's like that status thing, earning your spot. And then I graduated and took some time off. I was still practicing a lot and working really hard at home while I was working. That's when I started working at Barnes & Noble. Then I started auditioning at different schools to go to my master's, and I ended up getting offered a position at Colorado State. I went to Colorado State in Fort Collins, Colorado. That first year I auditioned, we had blind auditions there, which was very new for me, but it was fun. And then a couple years later, Michelle told me she always knew who I was because I would wear my cologne. And she could, I mean, she was our teacher. She knew exactly who we were. So in that first year, I was co-principal with Bree, the other master's student at the time. She was the grad assistant for the studio. But I was co-principal, and I got to be principal that first concert ever in Fort Collins. That first concert we played Barber's second essay. We played that, and we played Brahms 2, and me and Bree and I just fit. I mean, like, we sounded like one flute. It was so cool. And I was playing with Ryan. She was playing piccolo with us, and we all just fit. It was so fun. Oh my god, we all just fit personality wise, and we fit flute playing wise. It was so fun. Ryan really enjoyed piccolo, and I didn't tell him I played piccolo. I remember that first time I went on stage for that concert. So this school was really fun. So they played two nights in a row for the same concert, every concert rotation. And this first night, the Barber essay starts with solo flute and I think just a bass line, I think it's tuba. And I remember going out there and sitting down and thinking, and then it just really dawned on me in that moment that the first thing anybody's gonna hear from this first concert of the new year, new grad students, new students, is me. So terrifying, but so fun. Oh my god, I had the best time playing at that school. I was co-principal for the first year with Bree. And then, so we would rotate every concert. Bree was always so fun. She was so good. But I was working full-time for Barnes & Noble, so I was tired a lot. I was very little skinny-wise because I didn't eat. I did not have the money, and I did not have the time. I didn't sleep or eat. I remember thinking, I can sleep and eat when I dead. I can do all that. I can have a buffet after I dead. And I will get that. But until then, I have to work. I worked full-time. At Barnes & Noble, I was a grad assistant, sort of. I graded papers for about 20 hours a week for music appreciation, and I would teach a class with Bree every once in a while when Michelle was sick, which was so great. I think we only did it once because Michelle's like has the immune system of a god. The second year, I fell a little behind the other flutist because I was working so much. And it is what it is. So Bree got a lot better than me, but I continued to keep working, and I was, that first year, the second year, I got to be principal of the wind ensemble, which was so fun. Played some really fun pieces. Me and Ryan were in orchestra in wind ensemble together that year, which was super fun. I enjoyed all my time with Ryan, and I got to play with one of my other friends, Lindsay, at the time too. That was her first year in wind ensemble. It was really fun to play with her with that. I got to play in orchestra. I played in orchestra, I think, my last semester there. I played in orchestra and wind ensemble. And then from that school, I got, like, if you listen to that last video, how I met Dr. Martin. And then Dr. Martin pretty much said that if I went to that school, I would have a major chance at playing the solo for Daphnis and Chloe. Is like the flute, that was like top tier flute solos. That is like the epitome of flute solo, is that solo in Daphnis and Chloe. I just wanted to play that so bad since I was like younger. I had worked on that piece with Dr. Quilly. I never played it in orchestra, but he played the piano, his own like improvised piano arrangement from the score with me, because I took lessons from him for a short bit on how to audition and play solos. So he would give me a week to prepare a major flute solo from the orchestra repertoire, and I would play it with him while he played piano. Nerve-wracking, but worth it. So worth it. I definitely accredit a lot of my accomplishments to the generosity of others, because he did not charge me for those lessons. He did those lessons out of the kindness of his heart. So back to Georgia. I did get to play the solo. Nerve-wracking as all hell. And I met some really good people working on that piece as well, like Nancy, who was playing alto flute at the time for that piece, and Dana, who is becoming a major flutist in our world. I met them and got to be more around them, which was great. I definitely enjoyed being around those two. Such fantastic flute players, fantastic people. Dana's doing some really great stuff right now. She's getting together a Facebook group so other musicians can get together and talk about what we are doing to try to survive COVID. Because COVID's really messed up our income. And that shouldn't be everything. I'm sorry that is what it is, but like I really miss my income a little bit from flute things. You don't realize how much you get from that because it just seems like not a lot. I'm gonna do my eyeliner. I'll be right back. So during my last year of Columbus, I started auditioning to different symphonies. So I wanted to be a orchestral player. I did not want to be a teacher. I can teach a little bit, and I do understand that. I do have a way of talking, but I think that more relies on like I have a way of talking to people, and I can talk to other people a lot, where it's not, I like talking. This is obvious by this channel. I was not winning anything. I was not winning any gigs, and I was flying all over the country. And at this point, I had left Barnes & Noble. I did not work for them anymore. I was working for the Marriott, which helped because I was paying their discount, helped me get hotel stays when there was not a hostel available. So I auditioned for like the Houston Symphony. I auditioned for Buffalo Philharmonic. I auditioned in South Dakota, Omaha, Nebraska, Eugene, Oregon. Then I didn't win any. And my mom was wanting me to move back to Washington because by this time I had spent almost 10 years out of being in Washington. And I thought, okay, let's do this. Let's go back and see family again. I still did auditions, so I went to Detroit at that time and did an audition. Detroit is scary, that's all I'm gonna say. So I went and did that. I also then got Mary Jensen, who is now living in Tacoma and playing for almost every symphony in the area, called me and said, "Hey, I heard you're back." And I said, "Yeah, I am." would you want to come sub for us in the Olympia Symphony? So I was like, sure, let's go. Olympia is a little way south of where I was living in Kent at the time. So I went down and I played this little teeny tiny piccolo part in the Brahms Requiem. I think I played probably about 5-10 minutes of this like hour concert. That's a gross exaggeration, but still it's a little accurate. So I played with them and I met Cheryl and Mary again. I knew Mary from when I was younger, but I hadn't seen Mary in a long time. And then after that concert, they were like, do you want to play with the, I think their piccolo player had just quit, so they were using subs. And they said, hey, do you want to come back and sub next fall? And I was like, sure, let's do it, girl. And that led to the next year getting the contract. So I got the contract for the job. So I basically auditioned in person. From there, I kept staying with them, and I've been with them since 2016. So this is my this would have been my 4th season with them. But thanks to COVID and things like that, we don't. But definitely enjoyed my time with them. They are a fantastic symphony to play with, fantastic symphony to listen to. So if you ever get a chance to be in Olympia and you want to listen to some really good music next year, do it. Follow them on social media, because we do some things, like I've done some online concerts with them. They do online stuff now because that's how we are trying to stay surviving as musicians. Yeah, I've been with them for a while. I don't intend on leaving anytime soon, even though I live in Bellingham. And then I sub every once in a while, probably every other year, with Symphony Tacoma, which is one of the best orchestras in the area. Fantastic conductor, Sarah. She's amazing. So terrifying the first time I sat there, but it was so good. I enjoyed my time with that. So professional. I've done 2 of their Christmas concerts, which is really fun. Really cute music. I mean, so family friendly music. You just love it. Such a good time to have. Yeah, so that's my musical journey. There's a lot of gaps in there because I had a lot of time to think and become a better person. Music's taught me to be determined. The biggest thing I've learned from being a musician is that you can do whatever you want if you put your mind to it. I wanted to be a flutist. I knew I had to be a flutist. I did not have money, or I did not come from money. My mama definitely did not have the money to send me to lessons or buy me a nice flute or whatever. But I worked hard, and I worked a lot. And even in my master's and artist diploma, I worked. I went to work. I did whatever I had to do to become the best flutist. And yeah, there was times where I didn't have the time to actually devote to being a flutist while trying to make a living. And that's just what happens. But do I regret any of it? No. I've made some amazing friends along the way. That's where I met 2 of my family, Sean and Lydia. They have been family. They are family to me. I talk to them as much as I can. We don't talk as much as we probably should, but I love them. They are definitely my family. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do you like the makeup look? I took my sweet time with this one, the Smokey Eye, purple Smokey Eye. I love purple and black, as we all know. And I'm embracing that. I enjoy black on my eyes, and so I'm gonna keep doing that. I tried a subtler look the other day, and I did not like that. Oh, it was, no, not for me. I enjoy the smoky eyes and black and dark colors and purples and stuff. If you have any questions about what products I've used, look in the description box below. If you enjoy makeup and hearing me just ramble on about something, subscribe, share, and comment. Let me know what you like. Did you enjoy anything? What was your of the 20 questions. The 20 facts about me, what did you most enjoy? What did you not know? Did any of you, no, Lydia said she knew everything except for one. What else did some people do? What did you learn? What did you learn about me? Any comments about like where you'd want to go with this channel? What do you want me to talk about? I think I would like to talk about growing my self-esteem for next time. I think that's something a lot of us struggle with, especially during these times of being scared and not understanding what's happening in our world. I've grown a lot of things to help me with that. I've gotten a lot better. Okay guys, I hope you are having a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night. I know this is probably a longer video, but I hope you enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't, or share it. I love you guys. Be safe out there. Wear your masks and wash your hands. Bye.